Good evening. This is Jack Charting the Markets, and this is the Bigger Picture webinar for the evening of Sunday, the 9th of February. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and know how to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, let's have a look at ES. Okay, I was saying on the in the pre-market video on from Friday morning that we had some sell signals and we might well see some retracement, and we went up a little first and then we did the retracement. I was talking about a possible target in the 60-30 area, and I was thinking we might hold the old weekly pivot. We actually came down to the monthly pivot almost exactly on a gap, so that's 60-12, 75. So nice little retrace. What happens after that? Now the retrace was on news, and the news was, I think, as far as I can tell, the news was all the tariffs that Trump has planned in case people put retaliatory tariffs on against the ones that he's initially planned to put on. I think retaliatory tariffs are more or less a given. The reality is when you put tariffs against people, then they tend to put tariffs back again. So I don't know if he's actually really thinking that might prevent that. We will see how that goes. But I think in practical terms, as soon as he starts putting tariffs on people, there are going to be tariffs back, and it's going to be a whole new world in there in terms of trade. That can have a big impact on the market. It's certainly going to be a long series of news bombs. I was saying last year in November that this government was intending to be a revolutionary government rather than evolutionary government, and part of it is going to be a lot of news, and in many respects, revolutions are not comfortable things to be in. We're going to see the world change significantly over the next couple of years, in good ways and bad, no doubt, but it's going to introduce volatility, and it's going to be an interesting couple of years on the markets. All right, NQ. We had a sell signal here. It made target. ES, the sell signal made target. We had one on RTY, that made target. YM, we didn't have one. DAX, we had one, and that made target. And ESTX, we didn't have one. So we had 4 sell signals, and they all made target. So where does that leave us now? Well, it leaves us with no current sell signals. And it leaves us testing some support levels, and I'm wondering whether we might see a move up from here. Let's have a look at that on the bigger picture charts. I have got some indications that we might. Equally, we're coming down into some fairly serious support, and you can see on the SPX daily chart here that we are pretty close to a test of the daily middle band. That is the key level support here. I've got that at 6,009, and either that holds or it doesn't. But if it does hold, then we're close to a low, and we're likely to start going back up again. Looking at the hourly chart, no current divergence, but at the moment I've drawn this as a falling megaphone flag, and that is the obvious read here. Looking at the 15-minute charts, just more detail on basically the same view. I'm independent of the news, I would be leaning towards this being a bullish setup, setting up a retest of the all-time high. Okay, looking at the Qs. Qs, we've got, we're above the new weekly pivot. We've got the daily middle band at 520, and we closed just above it. So again, we are testing key support at the daily middle band, and at the moment, I'm not really seeing anything suggesting that's going to fail. This, however, was interesting. I found this, I was looking at it, and I've got this beautiful declining resistance trend line. Now, of course, a triangle isn't the only thing we could be forming here, but if it is a triangle, well, we've already broken up for a flag with a target at a retest of the high, and if we break up from the triangle, that would have a target at a retest of the high, and in terms of the wave count, we would have A, B, C, D, and we'd usually get a partial retracement for E. So obviously, if this is a triangle, we might be about to head straight back up and do retest the all-time high on Qs, which is something I'd very much like to see. I'm thinking we may well be starting a larger retracement soon, but I have been saying I'd very much like to see the Qs make the all-time retest before we do that. So we'll see how that goes. Looking at Dia. Dia, we've got a weak RSI 5 sell signal fixed. It hasn't made target yet, but it doesn't need to yet. We haven't come back to the daily middle band at the moment. We did make it back on the last retracement. In terms of a pattern here, this looks like a part-formed bear flag, bull flag, or a triangle. It's more of an impression at the moment. We need more detail. But we've got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed on the 15-minute chart, which wouldn't get us very far as and when it makes target, but it's suggestive that we might see some upside early next week. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture chart on IWM. And looking at IWM, We've got weak RSI 14 bicycle fixed. Am I thinking we might see a retest of the high here? Honestly, it's a long, long way away, but maybe. We're testing the daily middle band again as support on the hourly chart. No current divergence. I am wondering if we might just head back up to here. In effect, this would be a bear flag. And would be setting up a retest of this low here at 213.97. But we haven't reached the resistance there yet, which I've got currently at about the 233.25 area. Looking at IWM on the 15-minute chart, you can see that really nice resistance trend line. It's a peach. So I'm liking that target, and I'd like to see some more upside into it. All right, looking at DAX, we've got a possible daily RSI 14 sell signal brewing. We've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed and a possible larger RSI 5 sell signal brewing. We've got a possible little double top here. I'm liking the downside, really, but we will see. All right, Nikkei is still kicking around under the daily middle band and has not been doing anything interesting. I'm very skeptical about seeing a retest this high here at 42.4 unless something lights a fire under the Nikkei. All right, great. Let's have a look at the DX chart. Okay, DX, we saw a move down below the monthly pivot. We have been kicking around here. On the bigger picture, I'm still wondering about a retest of this high, and I'm wondering whether we are forming a flag or a triangle to set up a retest of this high. Looking at ZB, ZB has gone over the declining resistance and has broken the rising support on TNX. So this pullback here looks like a back test. I'm thinking this may well go higher, as this has been opened up by a move, this move above, but this could be a bearish overthrow, and I'm keeping an open mind. If we see a move down below the 144.06 area, then that would be a break of the support trend line and might well signal that we were going to go down directly. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts on those on DX. All RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and we are testing the daily middle band as resistance at the moment. If we can get back over it, then we've got another shot at retesting this high here at 110.015. Looking at the bigger picture, I am still wondering about a possible retest of this high here at 114.75. I think we've got a decision to make here, but there is an alternate where this could be A, B, C, form a flag here, and then come back and do that 114.75 later, having come back and possibly tested this rising support here in the 96.325 area at the moment. I'm quite liking that setup, and I'm thinking it might go that way. Looking at TNX, still leaning towards seeing a retest of the this high here at 49.91. We almost made it with a high of 48.09. We're back testing broken flag resistance at the moment, and I'm leaning towards it heading back up to that target. We did break below the rising support here. I'm wondering if that might look for more downside. We had a buy signal here, and that failed. Keeping an open mind here. We've got a weak RSI 14 buy signal fix, and if we can get over this trend line here, which I've got currently on TNX at about the 45.4 area, then this could head up directly. All right, looking at CL. CL. On Wednesday, I was talking about the inflection point here, having broken down from this head and shoulders as to whether this was going to break up or continue down into a target, which would be in about the 64.5 area, and really, it's barely moved. Since then, we have made a lower low here, but that means we've got a potential level bottom, and we'll see whether this breaks up. But at the moment, we're still in the same inflection point. If we can see some more downside here, maybe get below 70, I'd be leaning towards heading towards the lower target. We will see. Trump is quite keen on lower oil prices, although I do wonder how practical some of his plans are. So we will see. NG, quite like to see prices on this go down too. We do have a downside option here too, very much so. We've got a head and shoulders. That's still got a target in the 2.85 area, and I've got a lower target on the daily chart. But we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed here, but it's reached a possible near miss target. We could head up directly from here. Waiting to see if we can see a break over this high here, which I've got in about 3.58 area. That would set up a retest of this high here in about the 3.79 area. All right, let's have a look at that on the bigger picture chart. Okay, oil. Oil, we looked like a break up here, but we've now broken below the daily middle band, and we've got to the daily lower band. No current positive divergence. We had some, but that signal failed. So I'm leaning towards this heading down. The next obvious target is a move down here into this rising support trend line, currently in about the 68 area. Looking at the nat gas chart, we've got here a potential level top on the nat gas chart, which has got a target in the 2.3 to 2.45 area. Now, I've been mentioning this every webinar, but we are in a seasonal downtrend period for natural gas, and I'm wondering whether we might be. Normally, we would make some sort of seasonal low in the February to April area, and I'm wondering if this is the move to get us there. So I'd quite like to see this go down, make a decent low, and then it would have my permission to go up. Not that it really needs it. All right, let's have a look at GC. GC has been making higher highs here. We've got a potential little level top, and I'm wondering if we might see some retracement on SI. Again, larger possible level top, and I'm wondering if we might see some retracement. And on HG, this broke up very nicely, flag, double bottom, made it back to the retest of this high and continued higher. I'm liking this higher, and I'll talk more about that. I've actually got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing here. Sorry, I didn't mark it on the chart. We will see. I've got more to say about this on the daily chart. Right, on the daily chart, we've got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing here. Now on GC on the daily, we've got the same thing on the gold index. Though much more marginal. I haven't marked it in as it's a bit more marginal there. It's we do have possible trend line we may be heading towards, and I've got that up here in about the 29.75 area. But really, we've had a very decent move up from here. This triangle broke up. We retested the high. We've gone higher. Wouldn't surprise me to see a bit of retracement. We will see whether we get that. All right, looking at silver. Silver. Really, I've got this as a flag breaking up towards the 35.07 area. The trend line setup is not particularly great here, but we have got a head and shoulders here which broke down and hasn't quite failed, but we're really, really close. If we can get to 33.34, just another 12 ticks above where it's settled out at the moment, then we can break up from that, and that would give us a firm target at 35.07. Looking at the SI chart, liking it higher, but it wouldn't surprise me again to see some retracement. Palladium, we've got an IHS which is broken up here, and it's broken up with the target in about the 1185 area. We're seeing some retracement here, but unless this gets back below this right shoulder low in the 959 area, this is a likely bull flag for me. And we often break up, see some retracement, and then go. Looking at platinum, we've got another IHS, a bit different, but has broken up again. We've been forming a flag, might well be heading back up into the retest this high, but I'd like to see this head up to the minimum target, which should be a retest of this high here at 107.310. I've got an extended target up in about the 1090 area, and I'd like to see that made too. All right, looking at copper. Copper, no current divergence, but obviously we got over this high here, retested it, have gone considerably higher, and the next high I would like to see this break is this high here at 4.79. Now, how richly is this valued by historical standards already? Pretty richly. This is the chart going back just over 40 years. So obviously the current all-time high is a 5.2 that was made last year. And we could be heading back to it. We will see. I'm quite liking that, but I'd like to see it over this high here first. And I've got that at, I think that's right. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, that's a 4.79. So break over that, and it opens up a retest of this 5.199. Could we see some downside from there? Yeah, we could, but we won't really be setting up any direct negative divergence on it. So I would be wondering about finding some resistance there, and I don't think overall this is probably going to be a banner year for copper. We will see. All right, GDX. This is broken up for a flag. Obvious target is 43.71. GDXJ. This is broken up for a flag, and the obvious target is at 54.19. Right, great. Let's have a quick look at the currencies. EURUSD leaning towards seeing a retest this low. GBP USD, this looks like a bear flag for me, leaning towards seeing a retest of the low. USD JPY, kind of deep for a bull flag. I'm keeping an open mind on this one. Sometimes has a mind of its own, but I would note we've got a little level bottom here, and we could be heading back up with the dollar. USD CAD has been finding a lot of support in what is a fairly established support area here between about 1.5 1.425 and 1.43. Might be forming a little double bottom here, so 60-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target already, though. Australian dollar could be forming a double bottom. Keeping an open mind, we've got a 60-minute sell signal that's reached possible near miss target already. We've got exactly the same on NZ. This nice looking double bottom here too. Again, these aren't actually significant parts of the US dollar index, and these could head up without it, depending on what's happening with commodities. All right, KC. KC has gone higher. I've now got a third possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. The last two fixed and failed. This has been one hell of a trend. So is it going to fail here? Possibly, but I wouldn't be putting any bets on it at this stage. But we do have some signs of potential reversal. Nice looking little level top here. Possible 6-minute sell signal brewing. We'll see. SB. SB, we've got up into a potential inverted head and shoulder neckline area, and I think we may well be forming a right shoulder. Ideal right shoulder high low would be in the monthly pivot 18.95 area. CC, we've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed. Not much sign of it actually going up, but we've got potential bottoming action here. ZW, we've broken up from a double bottom. Target well above 600. Corn, I'm concerned though, because we've got a nice looking potential double top here. First double top failed back into the high. We've got a larger potential double top here. Not showing much sign of breaking down here, but this has got potential to deliver quite a sizable retracement. And we've got the same on soy, where we've got another very nice looking potential double top. Looking at cotton, I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this low and a possible double bottom when we get there. On lumber, very much keeping an open mind here. I don't think the pattern setup's particularly clear. The clearest we've got really is that we probably should have done a retest of this high here, up at about the 6.639 area. We almost made it, but not quite. We might need to go back for that. On live cattle, looks like a bull flag for me. Reached a possible head and shoulder neckline. There is a possibility of seeing a head and shoulders form here and deliver more retracement. And looking at lean hogs, we are basically back up retesting this high at the moment. I'd quite like to see it continue up and retest this high as well. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture. KC, this is wildly overbought, and I extended this chart a bit just because I rolled it into May, just to show how much this has come back up. This is starting off at about 177, and we're up at 405 now. Wow. Hell of a move. And we've basically got two patterns going up. Have we reached the obvious target? Nope. I've got that obvious trendline target up here at about the 415 area. But we could be seeing some retracement soon. And wow, look at the RSI on these. This is basically the highest the RSI has been on this chart. I did note in the last webinar that as when we do see a retracement start here, there's not much of a history of that being signaled with negative divergence. Looking at sugar, we've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed, and we've seen a nice rally. I've drawn in the potential inverted head and shoulders here, go down a little lower, and we could go, and then reverse, and we could go up considerably higher, and I think the target would be in about the 226 area. All right, let's have a look at CC. CC, no current divergence. We break below the possible triangle support I'd written in. I think this is some kind of a bullish consolidation, keeping an open mind as to exactly how that's developing. ZW, we've got RSI 14 buy signal has now reached the possible near miss target. Nice looking IHS has broken up and has got halfway to target, and I'm quite keen on it going the rest of the way. That would also get us back to a test of the 200 DMA, I think. Yeah, 200 DMA at 604. So that is a very attractive target from here. On corn, RSI 14 sell signal fixed, RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and we got a double top form. So that is a cautionary note. We may well see a retracement. If we see a sustained break below the 472 area, then we would have a target, which would be in about the 446 area. Okay, on soy, weak RSI 5 sell signals fixed, and we've got another potential level top. On cotton, we've got a possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing that's been brewing for quite a while as we have trickled lower. But I'm thinking if we can retest this low and actually get back over this declining resistance, which I've got in the 67.6 area, then this might actually have a shot at a sizable reversal, and this is possibly a very large reversal pattern forming. We will see how that goes. All right, great. In that case, I'll have everything posted ASAP, and I will catch you guys again on Wednesday.